越来越多年轻夫妻选择不生小孩，把钱花在自己身上。这样的生活模式到底是真心向往的自由，还是被现实逼出来的无奈选择？今天的中文单字是可支配收入、投资、财务知识。
We got married fairly young, and we both just decided for many reasons we didn't want kids. And then at some point we heard the acronym DINK, and I think just really fell in love with it.
There are more Americans that are deciding not to have children, and it's purposeful.
So, do they talk about how much money they owe in student loans, though? Because I think that usually that's a factor.
The trend has led to the rise of a new type of household, more commonly referred to as DINKs, dual income, no kids.
Oh yeah, dual income, no kids, that's perfect for us. That's absolutely right.
Okay.
Children are the death of net worth. Pretty crude, but honestly very true.
Yeah, it is true. That's accurate.
Household configuration of dual income partners living alone without children is on the rise. In 2022, it was around 43%.
Are we going to have a population collapse? I mean, like Japan is having this problem.
Households, and that's about a 7% increase from a decade previously.
In 2022, 43% of Americans surveyed said they'd want to get married, but just a little more than a quarter said they were sure about wanting children.
56% said they didn't want to have kids? That's crazy. Oh my God. That sounds really bad. Because like if you ask people that are 21, most people don't have kids at 21 anymore, right? Most people have kids between like 27 to like 40. I would say somewhere around there, 27 to 37. And so if you ask a lot of young people, then yeah, I think that most of them would say no because they're not really in that position in life to want to have kids. So it depends on how this poll is done, but that's still a very, very high percentage. It says in the future, though, yeah, but I don't think that a 20-year-old is going to have the introspection and the capacity to understand what they're really going to want in the future. Like, whenever I was 21, I felt amazing playing video games all day, doing literally nothing. And then some point around like 24 or 25, I felt like, man, maybe I'm wasting my life. And I still kept doing it, but I didn't enjoy it as much.
The term DINK is becoming more prominent now because of financial challenges.
According to a 2023 survey of DINKs, finance played a major role in their decision to not have children. More than a quarter of respondents said they simply aren't able to financially support a child at the moment.
When we advise clients about having children, we honestly don't even give them the full real details and the real numbers. It's one of those things, if you actually see the math of it all, it might make you decide to not have children.
And it's also like a lot of lost opportunities, right? It's like if you're grinding, like let's say like you're streaming, like how many of you guys do we know streamers or people that did YouTube who after they had a kid, they slowed down a lot? And like that's a good thing. Like it shouldn't be looked at like, oh, you fell off. No, that's good. But the difference is that whenever you are just barely making it, or you're getting by, and then you slow down, well, now you're not getting by anymore.
Family an estimated $310,605 to raise a child born in 2015 to age 18. That doesn't even include the cost of college.
Some couples are contemplating having children at the same time that they're still paying off student loans.
One of my very closest friends, she's been struggling with the reality that the take-home pay she makes is about equal to what childcare would be. Seeing our friends really struggle with that balancing act has, I think, made me appreciate the flexibility that we have financially because we don't have children.
We get to focus more on the things that we want to do and saving a lot of that money for the future and worry less about the day-to-day finances of the house and our bills. We definitely have some more expensive hobbies. They build mechanical keyboards, and just parts and stuff for that can be very expensive.
Fewer expenses leave DINKs with more disposable income to play with.
Disposable income is power, it's stability, and for many couples, it's security.
The security that having 6 months of income saved for emergencies gives you, that security was so helpful to us during COVID when I was out of work for 6 months. Our new savings goal is saving $4,000 a month.
If you have $1 and if you have to choose how to use it, a DINK can prioritize savings, retirement, investments.
The hardest part of investing is just having the cash to do it.
You know, if you're rich, you can buy more money. Poor people can't do that. It's expensive to be poor.
We started investing in our early 20s. I feel really safe because we have this strong nest egg of ETFs that are accessible and fairly liquid. And then we also have our long-term savings, which are, you know, tied up in IRAs.
There are lots of big item, big ticket investments that we tend to make earlier on in adulthood.
Like an expensive car that will depreciate in value the moment that you drive it off the dealership, and the insurance for it is extremely high. If I had $100 million, I probably would still not buy a Lamborghini. It's a waste of money.
Historically, lower birth rates have been associated with slower economic growth.
We shouldn't strive to have a generation of young adults that are not reproducing. That would not be healthy for society. No. It wouldn't be healthy for the economy. It wouldn't be healthy for us as we age. So there are a lot of reasons why we do want to take investments in the next generation seriously.
There is also the potential for more financial responsibility from other family members.
There could be additional pressure as DINKs get older for people within their family to assume that they can take care of certain obligations. For example, if you have an aging parent, DINKs might be the ones that are relied upon because it's presumed you have disposable income or you have disposable time to take on these responsibilities.
If anybody is considering becoming a DINK, as a financial planner, I highly recommend that strategy.
With that disposable income, make a budget. How do you want to spend it? Make sure you put aside some money for fun, but also make sure you put aside some money for investments, and they can be traditional or non-traditional investments, and then revisit it annually to make sure it still makes sense.
I think if you're considering not having children in your life, make sure your partner is on the same page as you and that you have confidence in that value in isolation without your partner too.
Don't go into the DINK lifestyle just like, oh, I don't have kids, so I just have more money and can do whatever. It still takes the work of like planning for your future, putting money away. If you're not gonna have kids, make sure you still save money for your future.
The reason why people don't have kids is because they can't save the money in the first place to have the kids. So it's hard to really do that. But he's right. Yeah, for sure.
Who knows what it's going to be like in another 30, 40 years when we go to retire.
I feel like this is kind of sad, and it's not sad that they want to do it. I think people can do what they want to do. But the sad part is that people feel like they have to do it. And like, even with like their story, I mean, they act like it's a lifestyle choice, but then whenever they explain their background, it seems like this is something that was led on by financial anxiety during COVID, right? Like if they had $10 million, $50 million, would this decision be the same? I think the biggest thing that moves the needle for people is money. And it's also the fact that at least here in the US, you get almost no support if you have kids. So yeah, it's not a surprise that people aren't having kids. It's pretty simple. It's because they don't have the money to have kids. And they have the financial literacy to understand that. And they know they can't afford it. I don't think people are seeing it. Like, we're not having the same problem that Japan is having or that China is starting to have. But we will. People that live in poverty in the US, let's be honest, live better than a lot of people in the world. Just go watch a video about what it's like being poor in India or what it's like being poor in Africa. Asia, yeah, a lot of places in Asia too. The poverty floor is higher. It's still not an excuse to miss basic shit like healthcare. Healthcare costs, you know who they really people that are in the middle class. Because let's say really, really poor, you just go to the emergency room. Like, that's what we would do. Like, back in the day, whenever my mom would have a problem, I'd just take her to the emergency room. They say, you owe us this much money. We're like, okay. Yeah, that's it. And so, yeah, it really hurts the lower middle class because they're the ones that can't qualify for benefits. But for very poor people, healthcare is not as sparse as you might imagine. How's her credit? Well, before she passed, I told her she owed over $100,000. In my opinion, I think credit cards are unethical. I don't know if I can say unethical because you do sign the contract knowing what you're getting into. I don't like credit cards. It's the company's responsibility that they give you money that you're spending that you shouldn't spend. No, that's your responsibility. But I still think credit cards are scams. I've always bought everything in cash, even whenever I had no money. And if I didn't have the money to buy it, I couldn't afford it. And I would just save the money myself. I don't think any of this is good, but I also don't think it's like necessarily immoral because really you're letting stupid people make decisions. Allowing a stupid person to make a decision isn't exploiting them. Just stop being stupid. It's that simple. There is no excuse for financial literacy. There are compelling reasons for it and understandable reasons, but no excuses. You live in an age of information. You can learn anything that you want. Ignorance is always voluntary.
影片结束了，来公布今天的答案：可支配收入 （disposable income）、投资 （investment）、财务知识 （financial literacy）。disposable income 是扣完税的钱。Discretionary income 是扣完所有必须开销后剩下的钱。影片中的夫妻因为没有小孩，必须开销少，所以他们的 discretionary income 特别高。